Yeah, it's one heart, one shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the
And we're live. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? Hope you're having an absolutely amazing evening. Let me just make sure that we are actually live on Facebook. Yeah, we are good. I always like to double check, Kayla, because sometimes we go live and end up being I've gone live in the wrong group. I've gone live. I mean, it's Facebook, so anything can happen. But for those of y'all that are joining us here, hope y'all are doing great. Cannot wait for y'all to hear this story. I cannot emphasize that enough. For those of y'all that have recently started following Pre-PT Grind, my name is 𝙄𝙧𝙚. I am a physical therapist. I am a PT school acceptance coach. And really what this platform is meant to do for y'all is to help you get into PT school without having to waste a lot of time and money doing a lot of the things that we don't realize actually hold us back and get in our way mentally or just tangibly. And so we want to give you guys a path. And what you are tuning in for has become my favorite series that we have started. And we call this the Pre-PT Inspire series because these are real stories. Like, I think sometimes we get nervous because we see students getting into PT school and we're like, oh, they must have had like a super high GPA. Oh, they must have had it like super easy. Oh man, they must have had all these advantages that I don't have. And the reality is there's a lot of students getting into PT school that have had the same struggles, if not even more struggles sometimes than what you might be experiencing. And so what we decided was like, yo, let's just come on here and talk about real stories, real life, like good and the bad. You'll hear it all tonight. And then we want to do that so that you can look at your situation and be like, yo, if Kayla and all these other people can get into PT school, then why can't I? That's literally what we want your takeaway to be. Like, if you can listen to this interview that we're about to have tonight and every other interview we've had already, this is episode 46. So we've had 45 other amazing stories. That's what we want you to take away from it. So if you're stuck, if you're getting in your head, if you're doubting yourself, you are in the right place. So sit back, relax, enjoy the story. It's gonna be real. So before we get started though, Kayla, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Slightly nervous, but good.
Oh, you're good. You're gonna cry. I mean, it's your story. So you're gonna be absolutely amazing. For those of y'all that are live, if you have a friend that needs to listen to this story, I mean, y'all can read the little intro a little bit to be like, this is a story that somebody might want to listen to. Tag your friends. But if you're live, comment #team live. If you're on replay, comment #team replay. But let's get it. Kayla, let's start from the beginning because we're going to get to the part of your story that everyone's excited to hear, which is the rough part, the part that was like, yo, like, this is crazy. But before we get there, tell us why you chose physical therapy. What drew you to this profession? Because that'll tell us, prior to us getting to the tough part of your story, that'll tell us, whoa, like, that's what she was pushing for, like, to begin with. So what drew you to the profession? What made you fall in love with PT? Tell us.
So originally I was like, I'm going to be a pediatrician because I love kids. And that's what I had said my whole life, literally until I think I was like 16, when I was like a senior in high school. And then I went to see a pediatrician. I was like, this is not for me. I couldn't do this. And now, like, my best friend, she's in school to be that. And I was like, couldn't be me, sorry. So I was like, gotta go find something else. So then I think my basketball coach, she was like, okay, we have a tournament, I think the summer. She was like, you're just gonna come to work with me because I don't have time. We don't have time in between to go. So I was like, okay, I'll come with you. So I went with her to work and I was like, this isn't a gym, but there's stuff here. I was like, there are kids here, but there's like adults too. I was like, what is this place? And she's like, oh, I'm a physical therapist. So I was like, this looks more what I thought pediatricians would do. She was like, why'd you think that? I was like, I don't know. Like, they talk a lot to people. They get to see them. They're being fun. Like, yeah, to me, that was like exactly what it was. And then I think the year later, I went on a mission trip with my organization and we had a physical therapist. And she was like, okay, well, since we're here with the orthopedic surgery, I'm going to walk you through the process from you see the surgery, then you're going to help with therapy. And I got to help with that. And that was like in Haiti and we didn't understand. They were so willing to like want to do therapy and do everything. And I was just like, okay, I like this. And when I saw people in the United States, like, okay, some people are not as willing to do this. I want to be such a good therapist that the people are as willing as these people in Haiti when they come into therapy, like in the United States, that they don't want to, I want it to be like that. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to stick with, though. Yeah. And I never persuaded the whole time through like undergrad. I was like, that's what I was doing, though I had no plan. And we'll talk about that. But I was like, physical therapy, that's for me, 100%.
Whoa, hold up. Like, I know COVID is a thing, y'all, but man, I kind of wish it was prior to, COVID-19 hitting, but I would, man, if you guys ever have the opportunity to do a mission trip of some sort, it is such a beautiful experience. And like you were saying, Kayla, like the rules are different in other countries. Like for us, like my wife and I went to Honduras for, I think like 7 years straight. And so like when you're helping there, like you can do whatever. Like it's like you're a licensed PT. It's like, no, I'm just a pre-PT. I'm just a student. I'm just trying to get my act together. But yeah, it's beautiful to see how it's received, and you're like, wow, like this is what I'm able to do for people. Like, and obviously in the States, there's all the legal stuff and all that stuff. But I think it's a really cool taste of what to expect down the line when you do become a physical therapist. So that's absolutely amazing. Love the story. Now, for the people that are live right now, let's get to the heart of the story. Let's talk about the struggles, right? Because a lot of y'all watching right now, how many of y'all, so say me, if you are currently a pre-PT, if you guys are watching live right now on Facebook and you are currently a pre-physical therapy student, can you comment me? Some of y'all might not be, some of y'all might already be in PT school and you're just watching this just because you want to. But for those of y'all that are pre-PTs, comment me below, because this part is for you. Because as students, we're all human beings, and it's just so important to recognize that other people have been able to navigate through some major struggles. Like, regardless of whether our struggles are really major or not, they feel major to us, right? Like for me, like, a GPA, that feels like a big deal to me, right? Like being rejected, that feels like a big deal to me. So I want y'all to just listen to Kayla's struggles and then recognize that she's already in PT school. She already got accepted. So if this works for her, if she was able to get in, then that, like, let this be your motivation tonight. Let this part of the interview be your motivation to say, yo, like, I want this physical therapy degree thing, whether I went on a mission trip or not, right? And regardless of what I'm feeling, I could still become that. So Kayla, talk to us. What were your biggest obstacles and struggles as a pre-PT prior to getting accepted into PT school?
Well, for me, I think I went, and like I said before, I didn't really have a plan. I just went to the undergrad school I went to. I just went because my parents were like, you're too young to leave, you're going there. I said, okay, I'm going here. They just told I told them, like, I want to be a PT, like, how do I do it? So my teachers, they said, these are the classes you're going to take, then these are the classes you're going to take. So I said, okay, taking the classes, and then it started to go bad. I took chemistry, and then I was in it. I think they're like, oh, the drop cleaning is coming soon. I was like, okay, I'm out. I was like, it's not going well. I was like, I'll try it again next quarter. Did the next quarter. I was like, okay, I got a C, cool, whatever. Like, I'll kind of work through it. I was like, I can do it again if I want to. Went to the second part of it. Still got another C. I was like, okay, it's not going good for me. So I kept going, and then I had some problems with roommates and just a lot of crazy stuff. So I think that kind of like messed me up a little bit. So I think by my third quarter, my freshman year, my GPA was like 2.8. And I refused to tell my mom that because she would kill me, but still, I think I get to my second year, I'm doing stuff. My advisor was like, you said you want to do PT? She was like, nah, that's not for you. She's like, you should do PTA. You've done most of those prerequisites. She's like, just do that. And I was like, not an option for me. My family's already mad. I'm not a pediatrician. I can't not have a title anymore. So that's not an option, okay? So I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep pushing through. And she was like, every time I went to her, I hated going to this woman because she just said, no, change your major or get better grades. So I was like, okay, you know what? This next time I take chemistry or whatever, or physics, I was like, I'll get a tutor. Had a tutor, didn't really still do much. And I was trying my heart out, cried so much. So then I was like, you know what? It was toward like the time I was about to be done with school. And I was like, I'm scared to graduate. And I realized at this point, I was like, I actually don't know what stuff I need to do for PT school. We had a club, but the club was very inclusive and I was not part of that inclusivity. So for me, I was just kind of just out there. And I was like, well, I'll just figure it out. And I was like, okay, I'll go to Argentina for a year, figure it out, then I'll come back. Came back, I got a new advisor. She was amazing. She was actually a PT. So she was like, listen, what you need to do is graduate go to community colleges, retake all these classes. And she was like, my son is also doing the same thing. So I'm gonna tell you what community colleges to go to where you can get good grades, go there, just get out of here and do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So by this time, I think I got to the community college. In all, I had taken like chemistry and physics between my university and the community college in total 11 times. And I never told anyone that. So I showed my mom the flyer for tonight, and she was like, did you say 11 times? She's like, why are you telling people this? She's like, don't do that. And I was like, why? I was like, I'm already in. Like, hey, if it helps someone and I'm telling them I took it 11 times and I took it that many times, like, it's fine. And then I was like, oh, I think I didn't know about the GRE until she had told me. I think it was like I was about to graduate. I was like, I have to take a test. She's like, yeah, you have to take tests. And I was like, no one in my school had ever brought that test up to me. So I was like, okay, like I can kind of like study and take these classes. It was not good. It was the first time. I think the second time I took it, I had COVID during the time I took it, and I was taking another class. So I just wanted to sleep most of the time that I had taken that. I was like, okay, not for me. And then I took it the third time. That was much better, but still, it was just horrible. And then on top of that, I already graduated. I took 2 gap years, and I was like, this is not part of my plan, and it's just not the best for me. But in the end, it worked out. So yeah.
Yo, see, that sounded like a lot, right? But in reality, like that's real life, right? Like, how many of y'all have felt like your situation was like, yo, like I've taken way too many classes. I've retaken things too many times. One point that I want y'all to catch, and she just, you just hit it right on the money. You said my advisor that was great was a PT. Y'all, like, you guys understand the value of listening to someone that's actually been on the path that you guys have been on, whether it's like a student or a PT student or a physical therapist. Y'all, please, like, if you guys are taking advice, if you're struggling, just a little seed to plant. Please listen to people that have actually been on the path, because the people that have not won't understand how valuable this journey is to you. And you're right. Like, you were like, I can't be I got to be a PT because they already thought I should be a pediatrician. So I can't. That's how my parents were. My parents were like, hey, if you're not going to be a physician, at least you get a doctorate. You know what I mean? And so it just adds this extra pressure, right? And so, and then how many times have you applied to PT school?
This is actually I applied 2 times. The first time I had applied, and honestly, I picked schools, and I was like, okay, these are the schools. And the mistake I made was I applied, I think we're gonna say November. It was very late. I applied very late. And I think the schools I applied to in November were not my top choice schools. They were all my second choice because I procrastinated so much and I was overwhelmed by like all the essays. So I had got to, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pick these schools because I finished the essays that are really similar and my GPA fits, and that's good enough. So yeah, we're just gonna hope it works out. Everybody's saying, you should be good, you should be good. So I was like, yeah, I'll just apply this year. Cool. Did not work out. Rejected to all of them. Yeah, pretty much all of them. No interviews to all 10. Yeah, all 10, no interviews, no nothing, just rejection letter, rejection letter, rejection letter. I was like, okay. And then I think I cried for like the first 3. And then I got over it and did not cry anymore. And I was like, okay, need to change this. It's fine. I got them. I just started laughing after like the 5th one. I was like, it's cool. I was like, I've accepted this. It's cool. So yeah.
What we'll get to tell them. So I have a question here because we're about to switch to your flip, because you applied once. You already mentioned, for those of y'all that are just joining us here, she applied the first time, got rejected by all 10 schools, had a lower GPA, took the GRE 3 times between chemistry and physics. I think it was like 11 takes, right, between those 2 classes, right, in terms of retakes and all of that stuff, which sounds like crazy to someone that's just like, what, but how did you still get into PT school? So what was your GPA when you applied the first time? Do you remember?
The first time, I think it was like, well, on PT CAS, I believe it's a 3.0. I think it was like literally 3.01.
Is that your cumulative or your prerequisite?
Yeah, my cumulative was 3.01. I think my prereq was like 2.99. It was very close. But yeah, so it was like a little below, but the schools I picked, they're like, we're good with it. So yeah, that's what had happened.
Okay, I love it. All right, next question. Now you've applied the first time. You were like, hey, Joseph, we're going back to my reasoning for why I chose physical therapy. If for those of y'all that just tuned in, she already told us. She was like, hey, like I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician, saw that and was like, nope, that does not sound like what I want to do. So now I'm like, all right, cool. Like, wow, these PT people are kind of doing what I thought pediatricians should have been doing, right, with kids. So you got excited. You were like, wow, I can see myself doing this. You have the added pressure from your family. You've been struggling academically, and you're like, yo, I've gotten rejected by all 10 schools, no interviews. And you were like, I need to find help. So for you, you obviously ended up joining, the reason why we're even doing this live stream is because you ended up joining our coaching program, the Acceptance System, before applying again, right? So what led you to look for like guidance? What led you to say, hey, Casey, Joseph, pre-PT grind, can y'all help a girl out? Like, what led you to say that? Or how'd you find us? How did you make that decision?
Okay.
Talk to us about that. And then we're going to talk about what you shifted, how that helped you, and all that stuff in just a second.
So I had found it, I don't know what I typed on YouTube. I typed something on YouTube, and I think it was a video like this one. It was with I think it was 𝙄𝙚𝙧𝙚, pretty sure. I'd watched hers, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So I literally every morning before I went to work, I was literally listening to the channel, like on YouTube, listening to stuff on YouTube. And I was like, okay, like I can kind of just like follow the stuff that they have for free and kind of figure it out. And I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. I think I met 𝙄𝙚𝙧𝙚 in person at my friend's house. And she was like, yeah, you should. She was like, actually, maybe join. I was like, okay, cool. Then I think a couple months later, I went to another school I saw like these group of people, and I was like, who are these people? Their questions are phenomenal. They're amazing. I was like, what are they part of? And I think I'd seen 𝙂𝙗's video. I went up to her, I was like, hey, I need to talk to y'all. I want to join whatever this is. I need to join it. So I think I called, that had happened in September, but I was like slightly nervous. So I think I called in like March. That's I think when I got my last like official letter. And I got on the call with Joseph, and I was like, okay. I was like, oh, they accepted me. I was so excited at work. I was like, I'm gonna get on a call. I'm gonna talk. And I got to talk, and I was just like, you guys. So I talked with Joseph. I was so happy after that. I went home, made a whole vision board, because I was like, okay, gonna get my life together. I was really like motivated to do everything. And I think that's just kind of like, this will be the push. I need to change. I need to just do whatever they did, because I was like, I want to be how these people look. That is what I want to look like to these schools. So yeah, I think that was like the main reason why I wanted to join the acceptance system, and just kind of look for something that was different and like would push me to get to where I should really be.
I love it. And for those of y'all that are wondering what the acceptance system is, it's our coaching program where we help y'all like literally like become the perfect applicant for the schools that y'all are targeting, so that y'all can become outstanding, regardless of what your story is. That's why I want y'all to hear these stories, so you're like, oh my goodness, I could do it too. So for you, real quick, before we get to your acceptance story, like how I got accepted into PT school, specifically for the coaching program, how did it actually help you? Like, what are things like looking back, you're like, yo, they helped me. Like, these are some of the key things the acceptance system really helped me change or shift, which allowed me to become a really strong applicant. For you specifically, what were those?
Okay, so I think there's like 3 things. Hopefully I'll remember all 3. But the first one, I think it was just like how I prioritized my time and what I was doing with it, and how I couldn't just be doing stuff. Because before, how I said I was just writing all these essays, but I was just writing essays. I wasn't being intentional about anything. So I feel like that was the main thing, how I had to be intentional about all the stuff I did, and actually had like having an accountability partner. That was like one of my favorite things, because there is someone there like, hey, did you do this? And we were talking like all the time. And I was so happy. I got along with my partner, and my coach was great. And I was just like, okay, like in Joseph Casey, when they talked, everything was just like pretty flat out. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I know I have to do this. So I was like, I know they're talking to me or anyone that's like me. So I have to do these things. I think that was like one of the main things. Also, how I think you guys said, well, like when I apply to schools, I need to actually like look up the schools and pick the schools that are for you, because not every school is for you. And that's, I feel like for me, that was 100% true, with like different than how I applied last year and how I applied this year, and the difference in like my response from the schools, especially. And I think the third thing was like how communication and just stuff like that like really helps, and just being able to like make sure you're doing as much research on them as they want to do on you, and that you can show that you're not just like everything that they're seeing on this paper. Like for me, I was like, I don't want to look like now at that point, I think I had a 3.3 or 3 point like something. I was like, okay, it went up, but that's still like not that competitive. So I don't want to just look like that. I need to show that I'm way more than that and that they should be very happy to have me there. So it was just like, yeah, that's, I think, like the main things that I got from that.
Boom, boom. Give them a snapshot. How many schools did you get accepted to your second time applying?
So this time I applied to, was that? 5 or, okay, so technically 6, but I don't count the 6th one because it was a technicality, so I just ignored it. 5 schools, I have been accepted into 4, waitlist on the 5th one.
You've been accepted to 4 schools. So what you're telling me is, girl, you got rejected by all 10 schools the first time you applied. You had below a 3.0 the GPA on your prereq, a 3.0 cumulative. You took between chemistry and physics. I just want people to realize, like, for those of y'all that are listening to this and are still thinking that it's impossible for you to get into PT school, this is real life right here. Like, I just want y'all to understand, like whatever maybe your advisor has told you, whatever you may have told yourself, like that, oh man, like maybe I'm not going to be good enough. Maybe I won't qualify. Maybe I won't be competitive enough. Maybe, oh man, like my classmates have better grades than me. They got accepted the first time. I've been rejected 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Y'all, like, understand that if this is the career you want, it is ridiculously possible. A lot of it is just finding the clarity that you need. I need y'all to hear that part. And so for a lot of y'all that are listening, because we're about to listen to one of her acceptance letters and how she responded to it here in just a second. But for those of y'all that are watching this right now and you're like, okay, I just want to know what my next step should be. Like, I'm starting to get it, Joseph. I'm starting to get it, Kayla. Like, I recognize that this is not some like thing that only the kids with 4.0s can have access to, only the kids that, are young or have certain connections. Like, it's not about just that. Like, anybody can get in. It's just that most of us are not taught how, and I want to know how to start. I sent y'all a link. I showed y'all a link in the comments below. It's acceptancenavigator.com. It's a 4-part video series where we literally show you the blueprint that Kayla and all the other students that we have coached have used to basically get to this point, which is being accepted into PT school. And if you're like, yo, I've never been shown that, I don't know where to start, that is where I want you to begin. It's free. Y'all can watch that tonight after this thing is done, but go to acceptancenavigator.com. I'm telling you right now, you will not regret it. That's it. All right, so now let's go. Tell me about one of your acceptance letters. Which acceptance letter was like the most mind-blowing for you? Because I want them to kind of live vicariously through you and be like, oh my goodness, like one day I'll be accepted. That's what it's gonna feel like. Tell us about it. And then I have one final question before we wrap it up tonight.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, and you'll be like, okay, this is a contradiction to what you just said before, but still, it's okay. So the school that I'm gonna tell you about, I was originally rejected there. And you would think, okay, you got rejected, how'd you get in? So I think like I had said before, the thing they taught me is communication. Every school that I had talked to, I think I harassed half their students and their staff, either Instagram, whatever, talking to them. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I talked to them, they rejected me. That is okay. I'm not fazed by them because all other schools I should be golden at. So cool, they reject me. I get a call, I think like a month later. I got an email, a call, and another email saying, we really want you to interview. Can you interview like tomorrow? And I was like, tomorrow? They're like, yeah, interview tomorrow. Do the interview with them. And I was like, okay, I thought it went really well. One of them was like, I very much so love you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then that same day after the interview, I get waitlisted. So I was like, I don't think this is for me. This is odd. I didn't like any of this. And I think I had talked to Nyasha about it. She was like, honestly, Kayla, like, just hear them out. Listen, maybe you'll change your mind. So then I think I got a call 2 weeks ago. I got 2 calls, voicemails, and an email saying, I really want to talk to you today. Can you talk to me? I was like, I don't want to call the school back. I'm upset. And I was like, fine, I'll talk. I was like, I will talk to them. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I was like, I will talk to them. And it was the dean of the department. She called me and she was like, I wanted to tell you, she's like, I know you probably got accepted to other schools and I'll have to accept that if that's true, but I just wanted you to know that you got into this school and I personally wanted to call you. She said, I was new to this school. I came here and I think December she came there or something, August or something. They had sent my rejection. She had not seen my application. I think she said she looked the rejection pile and she saw me and she said, I would like to interview her. So she said, we're gonna have another interview date. They had another interview date. That's why I had the interview, me and another girl. She was like, every day that your name was brought up, I pushed for you. Every time I saw you and me, I guess it was her and another professor that I had already talked to. So she said, yeah, I want to personally call you and tell you because I was thoroughly impressed with you, your application. And I told them, I don't care what her GPA is, though it is low, she showed that she's capable of doing this because she's retaking these classes. And she didn't have to take these classes, but she did it. And she's persevering and everything in her job, she's showing that she's capable of this because she's in the administration. That's different. She's like, she is pushing through this. So I want her this school because I don't know any of the other students here that are doing any of that. So she's like, every day I pushed, I brought you off the wait list because I wasn't gonna do it. So I think for me, I was like, okay, like this lady really, she was really fighting for me. And the other teacher called me too. And she's like, I remember I saw it. She's like, they didn't tell me who they interviewed, but I saw your name. I remember we had talked and I was like, I really like you. And she's like, I really enjoyed the interview. And she's like, I'm so excited you're coming here. You're gonna be a great student here. And I think that's what kind of solidified me. And I was like, really happy I kind of listened to what Nyasha said and kept an open mind for it. And I think this has kind of showed me like, this is probably where you are. So y'all keep pursuing, talk to those people. Maybe that was, you don't know. You have no idea. I was like, she said exactly what the opposite of what we all think PT schools think. So for me, so I was really shocked about that. So I think that's like, for me, that's definitely why I wanted to tell this story, because I didn't think this was possible for me to be rejected and now I'm accepted. So yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah. Man, for those of y'all listening to this, if this doesn't give you belief, I don't know what will. I really don't. Like, yeah. I really don't. And that was one of 4 schools that you got accepted into.
So I had to send letters recently.
Yeah. I really have no idea like what to tell y'all. Like this is it. This right here, like this interview, like if there's an interview that I want y'all to listen to, just listen to this one over and over. Because this, like literally what Kayla just explained to y'all in the last 30 minutes or so, and we have a few more minutes left, is everything that we want y'all to understand. Like, this is not a matter of just, oh, my GPA is low, there goes my shot. Let me just try a whole bunch of stuff and hope for the, no. Like, there's so much more to this. There's a human side to this. Y'all are applying to a program that is filled with human beings. There's so much more. And it's just like, yo, like as long as we're willing to get out of our heads and believe that it's possible, because listen, like I didn't give you your dream of becoming a physical therapist, y'all. Like Kayla didn't give y'all your dream of becoming a physical therapist. Your experiences did. Maybe you got into an accident. Maybe you had a friend that had an injury. Maybe you had a family member that experienced PT and you're like, ooh, I want to do that. Maybe you just saw it by accident. Maybe you walked into a room and were like, well, I wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought this, like whatever it was, that seed was planted. And now all of our obstacles as students start to take that away. We stop believing that that's possible. Mm-hmm. And it's like, like, I mean, listen, like, would y'all rather just quit your journey of becoming a PT and do something else you don't like and just do it for the rest of your life? I mean, we only get one life, right? So you might as well go towards the avenue that you feel called to serve in. And if the one thing that was holding you back was belief, if the one thing that was holding you back was the thought that what your advisor has told you, that the thought that what other students have told you, the thought that what you've seen on threads, on, online or whatever, like if that's what's been holding you back, then let this be proof. Let this interview and the other 45 that came before it, let this be proof that your ability to get into PT school is more than possible. You just have to be willing to say, all right, I need to change some stuff. I need to like figure this game out. I need to have some direction, some guidance, like something to help me out, right? But please don't, like after tonight, your excuse of saying that this is impossible has kind of been revoked by Kayla's story. This should be the proof that y'all need to absolutely go for it. Go freaking for it. So Kayla, as we wrap it up, like what are your words of wisdom? Like after everything you experienced, after the ups and the downs, after the surprises, after applying the first time and being rejected by all 10 schools, and then being accepted by 4 out of 5 or 6 schools this second time that you applied because you had direction, you did all the right things that you could control. Like, what would you say to the version of yourself after you had gotten those 10 rejections? You were like, the first 3 I cried, the last 7 I was just like, all right, I'm done with this. All right. So what would you tell yourself? Because somebody listening to this right now is at that point. They're at the point of almost giving up. They're at the point of feeling hopeless. What would you say now that you have gotten into PT school multiple times over, right? Like, what would you say to that individual? Well, what would you say to yourself in that state because you were there? And let's make that the final question for tonight.
So what I would say to myself maybe like a year or so ago, the feeling that I had, I think after I had finished my phone call with you, it had to continue because I had low points. And literally every time there's this singer, I like, her name is Kehlani, and she says this thing that's when tide get high, you just get low, hold your breath, take it slow, you'll catch a wave, but you'll come back. So I literally had to sing that like 700 times, listen to it at night to say like, okay, this is a low point. That's cool. You can have them. You'll get tossed around everywhere, but you can come back up and you can change it. So literally I had to keep saying that. So as long as you can know that and keep doing that and literally just remember like, why am I doing this? If you feel a certain type of way, express it to someone, especially like in the group. Also join the acceptance system. If you're thinking about just join it sooner than I did, because I could have saved a whole like not playing 10 schools, but just do that. And then just stay focused. If you feel like the people are around you shouldn't be around, don't do it. Because at my church, we had 4 people who were physical therapists, 3 of which told me it is impossible for you to do so because of your grades. And these are people I've known since I was 5. So I'm saying if this is a problem, just remove them. Remove them. Don't listen to them. Do what you need to do and just like keep going, make whatever you need to make, talk to who you need to talk to. And just remember that that's your goal. Even if you feel like it's impossible at the time, you want to cry, cry. Eat some ice cream, do it. But just know that like, keep pushing, take the class the 10th, 12th time, do it. Take the class, you know you don't want to. So yeah.
Oh, can y'all show Kayla some love? Man, Kayla brought y'all heat tonight, man. This whole interview was straight fire. This was amazing. For those of y'all that just tuned in, this was like amazing. Like there's a reason why there's so many people live right now. Like y'all might want to go watch this on replay after we end this live stream because this was amazing. Tag your friends on this. And for those of y'all that are like, hey, I just want to jump straight for the coaching program. I want to like, how do I get started with that? Go to 𝙬𝗏𝑒dsystem.com, accepted like with an ED, system.com. If you can't find the link, just hit us up. But if you're like, hey, I just want to learn what should my next steps be, then go to that link that we have below. It's a free 4-part training. Because it's free, I mean, listen, if you're trying to get into PT school and it's free, I don't know why you're not doing it. So go to, that is acceptancenavigator.com. Acceptancenavigator.com. That is the 4-part free series. But the coaching program, if y'all just trying to do what Kayla did, shoot, go to acceptancesystem.com and we got you there. Yo, you getting all the love right now in the comments, by the way, Kayla.
Oh, darn.
Yo, people are popping right now. But y'all, that's it. That is it. Y'all, here's what we're doing. For those of y'all that are live, listen, every single Tuesday night, we are bringing you a different student. These are students that have gotten accepted into PT school. They have gone through the ups and the downs. Y'all heard it today. Like, this is not fake. Like, none of this is fake. None of this is made up. These are real experiences so that you can get out of your head. Like, we want you guys to get out of your head and say, yo, this dream that I have, regardless of who's telling me it's impossible, it's more than possible if I'm willing to learn how this game works. And so that's it. That's all we're doing every single Tuesday night. And then every single Thursday night, we will be here. Casey and myself will be on here. We will be in our group, the Pre-Doctor Physical Therapy Students page on Thursday nights, teaching y'all live. So let's get it, man. But Kayla, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for serving the people with your story. And for those y'all that joined us live, thank y'all for just leveling yourself up. Just thank you for just showing yourself love. by listening to an inspiring story that will help you absolutely crush it. Y'all have a good one. Much love. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.